Hello friends, today I'm really excited to share with you a card that I created using a few of the Spellbinders Kits of the month. I'm working with the embossing folder of the month for June 2024, which has these amazing waves on it. And you can see here that I've die cut this out of 3 different colors of cardstock, and look at all of that dimension. I also have the stamp of the month. I love this one because it evokes all those retro vibes with the key and then the images you can put in it. You have several different sentiments to use here, so I think this is a really great set. And I also have the die of the month that coordinates with the clear stamp of the month, and that will cut out everything that's on the stamp. So I'm really excited to get into this card. And the first thing that I want to show you is how you can use cardstock only to create a really cool ombre design using this embossing folder of the month. So I'm going to show you how to create this background step by step. So I have 3 different colors of A2 cardstock already embossed with the embossing folder of the month. I have white, I have waterfall, and teal topaz, and they just look so beautiful together. So I'm choosing about 1/3 of the way down from the top, and I'm going to use an X-Acto knife to run my blade along the bottom edge of the wave that I've chosen. Now you can choose any wave. You can do more than 3 colors here if you want to create a longer ombre effect with more colors. But this is about 1/3 of the way down. So pretty easy, I just cut that. And you can use these pieces for all different things later. Next, I'm going to use this piece as a guide to know where to start cutting on my waterfall cardstock. I'm going to cut in the exact same place to make sure that these pieces will line up together. If you've never used an X-Acto blade before or craft knife, I really highly recommend getting one for your craft room. For little detailed things, they're great for having on hand. Next, I'm going to figure out how long I want that middle portion to be. I want this one slightly longer than the top and the bottom. So I'm just using my craft knife to cut along the bottom edge of the wave I've selected there. So now I have my top and I have my middle. Now it's time to create the bottom piece. So I'm lining up the piece that I've already cut of teal topaz, that center piece there, to figure out where my the teal topaz piece will be cut here. So I'm cutting along that same edge as the bottom of my waterfall cardstock piece. So everything should fit together just like a puzzle. Now, because this is handmade and you're using a craft knife, not all of the lines will match up, but I have an easy way for you to fix that. So now it's time for us to put these 3 pieces together to create our ombre background. And I like to use a double-sided adhesive roll instead of something that you have to push down on your embossing folder here, just so that you don't push down any of that dimension. So I'm using this one from scrapbook.com just to add some adhesive to the back, and this adhesive is really heavy duty too. You want to make sure you don't put it all the way down to the edge. So this is the easiest part. You just want to line that first layer at the top corner and along your left edge, making sure that you don't push down on that bottom edge just yet. So I'm prepping my waterfall cardstock, the center piece here, and taking all the backing off of that tape. And then I will get that in place on my card. The most important thing here is that you slide that edge of your second piece of cardstock underneath that first layer of cardstock, just so you don't see any gaps where you might have missed with your craft knife. Be sure not to adhere the bottom edge all of the way down. If you do, just run your craft knife along that bottom edge, and then you can place your third piece. And again, we're going to slide that just slightly very slightly under that second piece of cardstock so there are no gaps, and it will look just great and no one will be able to tell. Now you can see there, because I did slide those pieces under just a tiny bit, there's about 1/8 of an inch of cardstock. So this card will not be all the way to 5.5 inches. It's about 5 3/8 of an inch, which is no big deal. I'm also going to use a ruler with a cork backing to cut any excess along that right edge too. Look how great those are, and they have so much dimension. Next, I'm going to create a focal point for this card by stamping that really cool hotel key. I can almost feel the way that these felt when I stamped this, that plastic, that flatness. I just love it. I'm using my Scout here. This is the brand new machine from Spellbinders that is for smaller dies. It has about a 3.5 inch base there that you can use for your die cutting. And I'm really excited about it, although I'm having a hard time holding it because it's just something different. So I ran it through with no issues. Next, I'm going to stamp the center part of this key, and I've chosen the ocean scene, so the water with the sunset or sun rays, if you will, and I'm going to stamp that. I stamped both of these with Gina K amalgam ink in obsidian, and that's because I'm going to use some alcohol markers to color them in. I want to get a nice dark image there, so I stamped that 2 times. All right, now it's time to use my Olo markers, which are my alcohol marker of choice, to color in this image. Now, if you look in the video description below, you can see all of the colors I used here. I really love this peachy orange that I used for the actual key, and I thought that this would be a great pop of a contrasting color against that teal ombre background. To match my background, I'm using 3 different colors of teal to color in the ocean. And then I pulled all of my yellows and teals out from my Olo markers to color in the sun rays. And this was really fun. I just kind of stuck to the same color, coloring a few different of those rays in, and then changed color, colored in a few more, and so on and so forth, until the whole thing was filled in. Again, I know that these colors are really going to pop against that background. And I also love how the design of the water on this key ties in to that embossed background that we've already created. So this is a really easy scene to color in because it is small. So that's one great thing about this kit of the month, this stamp of the month, is that it's not a ton of coloring involved, so you can do it quite quickly. I'm going over those lines again with the same color to kind of shade those in a little bit. And then I'm also going to grab some grays here just to give my clouds a little bit of a highlight. I want my key to look more like a brass key. So I'm just trying to find the right color. I almost colored it in gray and then decided, let's stick with the warmer colors. Let's go with a brassy color. So I grabbed one of the yellows here to just color that in, and I think it looks so much better. You can see there that I went outside of the lines a tiny bit, and so I grabbed my 0 marker. This is great for kind of taking off the color if you make a boo-boo. And I also want to highlight this a little bit with one of those warm grays to make that key look a little bit older. Now that that's done, I'm going to go ahead and stamp my sentiment. I've chosen Sending Sunshine Kisses and Birthday Wishes here. I really like the length of this sentiment. You can see there, that was the first time that I had stamped it. And so usually I get a better image the second time. So I went ahead and stamped it twice. And again, that second time gave me a much better image. So we're going to go with that one. I'm going to pull out the coordinating die of the month here. I love getting the clear stamp of the month with the coordinating die because you know you're always going to have those dies to cut everything out. I'm using my cute little Scout again on my desktop. It's so much easier to pull this out from behind me and put it on my desktop than it is the Platinum 6. So I know that this is going to get a lot of use. And there's my sentiment. So now it's time for me to adhere everything down. I have my foam adhesive on the back of my key here. I want to put this a little bit lower than the center of my card, and my sentiment is going to slightly overlap that there. I just need to pull off some of that foam adhesive and give it a little trim, and then I'll put a little bit of glue there where it overlaps my key. I love that sentiment. I think it looks so great the way it's placed there with the key and the waves. I just love it. But there's one last thing that I want to add, and this is the Aloha Sequin Mix. Such a gorgeous mix. There are some purpley pinkish kind of flowers in here, but I just used some of the clear and teal pearls and teal gems instead, and I love the way it looks when it's kind of floating down through that sentiment. So pretty. Then all I have to use is my Artiste craft glue from scrapbook.com to stick those all in place. This one is my chosen one right now because it doesn't seem to be gunking up, which I was having some problems with different glues before. So that is my completed card. How great is that? I just love that you can start with a really dimensional and textural background, because once you do that, you don't have to do a lot to that card front besides adding a focal point with that fun key using the clear stamp of the month and a sentiment cut out with the coordinating die of the month. The window for the Spellbinders June kits are nearly up, but you can subscribe today to get these products, and I just have to say, every month is a new adventure with these kits. I just love them, and I love what I create with them. Be sure to check out all of the products that I use in my video description below. Subscribe to my channel to see more card making videos, and happy creating!